Hello guys, it's me again. I'm going to be reading a story today called Anne of Green Gables. One of my favorites. I'm not going to be reading the whole book. I'll be doing it in parts. This is part 1. Now I think I'm only going to read up to page 7. I think. Okay. So I'm going to read it. One of my favorite books. I love it so much. It's such a good book. It's a very thick book, so I'm probably not going to get through the book. But we will read until the end, if possible. Alright. Shall I read off the names? Anne Shirley is a young orphan who comes to live with the Cuthberts. Matthew Marilla Cuthbert, Mrs. Rachel Lynn, I don't think I'm going to read all of them. There's actually 16. Alright, chapter 1, A Surprise at Green Gables. Mrs. Rachel Lynn was a nosy neighbor, but good-hearted. She kept an eye on everything that happened in Avonlea. One afternoon in early June, she sat looking out her window. She saw Matthew Cuthbert driving out of town in his buggy, dressed in his best clothes. Now, where was he going dressed up like that, and why? After tea, Mrs. Lynn went over to Green Gables to see Marilla Cuthbert, Matthew's sister. They had lived on neighboring farms for many years. The two women could be more different. I'm sorry. When I read aloud, I'm not good. Mrs. Rachel Lynn was plump and outspoken and nosy. Marilla was thin and quiet and kept mostly to herself. If you want to see the picture, here we go. Now, I give all of the credit to Ellen Montgomery, so YouTube won't get at me for that. Page 2. Mrs. Lynn asked where Matthew was gone. Marilla told her that he went to pick up the orphan boy they were adopting. She explained that when they heard that Mrs. Alexander Spencer was going to adopt a little girl from the orphanage, she and Matthew sent a message to her. They asked her to pick out a boy about 11 years old for them. Matthew was getting older, and they thought a boy could help him with the farm chores. Today, Matthew had gone to the train station to bring the boy home to their farm, Green Gables. Mrs. Rachel Lynn was shocked. She could not picture serious Marilla and shy Matthew as parents of a child. She did not approve of adopting orphans either. It was foolish, she said, and risky. She told Marilla awful stories about orphans who caused lots of trouble. There was a boy who set the house on fire, another girl who poisoned the whole family. Well, we're not getting a girl, said Marilla firmly. And besides, Matthew has his mind set on this. And as for the risk, there are risks with having one's own children. Notice the pendant on Marilla's neck. The one that is looking. That is Marilla. Notice the pendant. That is going to be important in the middle of the book. Meanwhile, Matthew had arrived at the train station. There was no sign of a train. Matthew spoke to the trainmaster and told him he was picking up an orphan boy. The man pointed to a far end of the train platform. A thin child sat there on a sack of roofing shingles, clutching a shabby little carpet bag. There was a passenger dropped off for you, but it's a little girl, the station master said. I'm not expecting a girl, said Matthew. It's a boy I've come for. The station master whistled. Guess there must have been some mistake. go ask her. Matthew walked down the train platform toward the girl. She was a child about 11, dressed in a very short and ugly yellow dress, and a faded brown sailor hat. Her red hair hung down her back in thin braids. She was very thin, and large green eyes sparkling in her freckled face. She stood up and struck out her hand to Matthew. "Are you Mr. Matthew Cuthbert of Green Gables?" she asked. "I was afraid you weren't coming. I was imagining all those things that could have happened on your way. Then I saw that big cherry tree down the tracks." There's Anne. Shingles, she's sitting over. I'm just about on page 6 now. So, here I go. "I thought if you didn't come, I would walk down there. I could climb up in the tree and spend the night in the branches. Wouldn't it be nice to sleep on a cherry tree covered with blossoms? And I knew that you would come in the morning if you didn't come tonight." Matthew shook her hand. He decided to take her home even though she was a girl. He couldn't tell her there had been a mistake. Matthew decided that they could sort it out later, at home. "I'm sorry I was late," he said shyly. "Come along. I'll carry your bag for you." "Oh, I can carry it," she told him happily. "It has everything I own in it, but it's not heavy at all. It's a long drive to your place, isn't it? Oh, it seems so wonderful that I'm going to live with you. I've never belonged to anybody before." During the long ride to Green Gables, she did nothing but talk. Matthew liked her company, which was rare for him. He was usually very shy, especially with women and little girls. She talked about her life at the orphanage, and about the red roads, and what made them that way, and about pretty dresses with puff sleeves, and about the trip from the orphanage. About the orphanage too. I'm sorry, I thought there was something. Oh, sorry, I missed something. And about the trip to the orphanage to Prince Edward Island on a boat. That is just about it. Here's the photo. I do believe that this is a very well-spoken story, myself. I do love it, and I will keep on reading and making episodes. Now, hopefully you will comment, and this is Elizabeth Perkins, over and out.